All right, there we go. Got the volume going here. Good to see y'all. It is just after 11 a.m. Central Standard Time here on Monday, the 14th of September, 2020 in San Antonio, Texas. I'm Christopher Inks with TWC, Texas West Capital, and we're here to take a look at the Bitcoin market. So hopefully you guys are ready to do a little bit of that. Had an interesting weekend. Again, went through the area we were looking for. Got front run on the target we were looking for, pulled back, pushed through it this morning now. So we're going to kind of take a look to see where we may be at with that. Maybe take a look there at the DXY, kind of see what's going on there as well. Hey there, Alfredo. Good to see you. Data's here. Good to see you as well. Hey, guys, don't forget, you can join us at howtotradetowin.com. I'll tell you what, guys, I told you last week, I believe I told you last week, this will be the last week for a while that you can get in on a Tier 1 or a Tier 2. We're only going to have Tier 3 memberships open for a while, and those are going to be limited. We're kind of getting a lot of new people in, and the last thing I want to do is really just kind of get too many people to where we can't continue to do the great stuff that we've been doing. So, if you were wondering, maybe you should try us out and and test the waters and whatever. But you're not sure about the Tier 3. I'm telling you right now, Tier 3 is well worth it, guys. But if you're not sure, you better jump in there on that Tier 1 or Tier 2 before we shut that off, the new memberships for that this week. Sometime this week. I'm not exactly sure when yet. Might be tomorrow, might be today, might be Wednesday, whatever. I haven't actually sat down and figured it out, but it's going to be this week. And then, like I said, we're going to limit, the new people we can get in there with Tier 1 or Tier 3, for a while. And then we'll kind of see how we're doing, and then kind of maybe open up Tier 3 some more for some new members after a while and kind of do that. So, this might be the last chance you have to get in with us for a while. The other thing, geez, oh whiz, allergies sometimes just making you cough and whatnot. Let me see here. So that's that. What else are we going to do here? Starting next week, guys, I'm going to ratchet down the public streams one more time. I'm going to just do them on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And again, the reason I'm doing that is because we've had a lot of new people joining in. We're really, I told you guys at the beginning of the summer, right before the beginning of summer, that going into the summer and then the end of the year, we had a lot of stuff we were adding. And we've been doing that, including the weekly educational training, live training there for Tier 3 members every week. And we've got more stuff that we're bringing in. And so in order for me to continue to give Tier 3 what they're expecting, I have to kind of pull out on some of the public things I do. But, again, Tier 3's paying. So, we want to make sure that they're happy. But I'll still be here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Still at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. But just not Tuesdays and Thursdays there. And that way I can continue to start giving even more time to the Tier 3 members that we've got in there. So if you're Tier 3, hopefully that's exciting news for you. If you haven't joined us yet, it would behoove you to do so this week. I had a great message here from somebody. Let me see here. Because we had, by the way, guys, if you're on our server, whether it's the free side or the paid side, and usually this just happens on the free side because these guys aren't going to join us and then do it. But we had another impersonator this weekend acting like me. They copied all my stuff or whatever. Guys, remember, you can always right-click on my profile and then click on the word profile and brings up, and it'll have links to my Twitch and my Twitter pages. And that's something that they won't be able to do. They can go in there and they can even change the number to look like mine, the last 4 digits. But they won't have those links because those require, they have to have access to those counts to access, to give those links connections there. So, at TWC here, guys, not myself, Adam, Scott, nobody that works with TWC is ever going to approach you in DMs and say, hey, listen, for this much money, I'll do this for you. That's a scammer. Don't do it. Just let us know. Let myself know, and also send a message to Adam Harris, and we'll get that taken care of. We'll get them booted off the server. But I do want to make you aware that did happen again this weekend, and not to ever do that. And like I said, if you want to figure out if it's really me, just right-click on the profile picture, click on profile at the top. It'll bring up my profile and the direct links to Twitch and Twitter will be on there. I tried to hook up YouTube, but it's having an issue at the moment. But as I can get more of the social media on there that we can link directly through Discord, I'll be doing that. And like I said, that way you'll know for sure whether it's me or not. But also know that I'm not going to contact you and say, hey, come here, I got something for you. I think one of the best ones we had, it looks like that person actually impersonated me and then contacted Adam in DMs. And he says, hey, do you know who the founder of the group is? Man, I'll tell you what. I know they're probably not listening right now, but I'd love for them to listen right now so I can tell them how stupid they are. That was good stuff. Anyway, but hopefully you guys don't ever send them any money like that. Don't do that. That's just somebody just trying to take your money. And again, I'm here to help you make money and to save money, not to lose your money, especially in nonsense like that. Hey there, Hank, Baker, Nevlusian, Sean, what's going on, guys? Greg is here, LG is here, Logic Basic is here, Real User, Sherrod. Let me see here. Yeah, no pulling of my beard. Hey there, Spiral Architect, good to see you as well. So yeah, guys. So that's kind of like the what we've got going on here. We've got a roadmap that I'm fleshing out. Spent some time this weekend when I was disconnected doing that. But a lot of stuff coming for Tier 3 and through the end of the year here. So, yeah. By the way, if you happen to get into a Tier 1 or a Tier 2 right now, you can still upgrade to Tier 3, even if we've got it closed off to new members at some point. Yeah. But if it's closed off and you're not a member, it's closed off, you can't get into it. So, jump on that, guys. You go on howtotradetowin.com. Let me see here. What's going on, Ollie? Candle Shepherd, what's going on, guys? Good to see y'all. All right, let's jump on here and see where we're at. All right, so I did an update of what we were looking here. Last week, I basically said, listen, if it's getting through this red trading range here, I said we were looking for a target up here of around of this kind of area right here, around 10,700, 10,690, right around there. It stops, or I'm sorry, no. I was looking at first initial target right up here at the EQ of this right here. What is that? 10,600 or so, and it got front run right there, came back, bounced back out of this supply structure, or I'm sorry, demand structure here, went up, bounced out of it again, pushed up, and this morning, I let our members know, that I updated this count here, and what I'm looking at now is I'm looking at this as a 3 with a 4 here and then an expanded flat here. So ABC up for A, ABC down for B, and then an ending diagonal here. So an ABC for a 1, 2, ABC for a 3, 4, ABC for a 5. I think that's where we may be at. Right now, price is just at this 38.2 retracement. Of wave 3, of what would be wave 3. So, it's a legitimate wave 4 where we'd expect to get it. The count works out right. If you zoom on into this wave C here, again, you can get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with this throw over here. It hit the EQ, again, hit the R2 pivot right there on the 15-minute. Here on the 1 hour, it's pulling back. 1 hour overbought, 15-minute overbought. There is expansive volume going on here, but we don't have expansive candle spread as well. You need both. You need expansion of volume and expansion of candle spread for a legitimate, you can kind of look at it and go, oh, we're definitely in this trend. Instead, what I see here is just volume expanding, but really the candle spreads stay about the same, except this one right here. This one right here with this big spike of volume. And this spike of volume gave you a larger one here. But generally, every other candle here is about the same on this upside. So I'm real hesitant to say this is bullish because all we have is some volume. And the reason why you need the candle spread to expand with the volume is because that shows that the volume tells you that there's more and more buying and selling going on. So there's more interest. So as price is rising, more and more people are getting involved. Or more and more money is getting involved. That's what the volume tells you. The candle spread if it's getting larger overall as it's rising, starts maybe smaller here, and you start getting these larger and larger candle spreads as it's moving up, that's telling you that out of these people, all these extra people that are joining in as it continues to rise, it's starting to get more and more heavy toward the demand side. Demand's becoming more and more in charge. And that's why you end up getting price closing higher and higher and creating these larger candle spreads. But as you can see, again, we don't have that. We have this one right here with this spike. And this is only the real outlier. This is really the only outlier candle spread right here. So again, it's not just about volume. And this is a thing that a lot of people miss. First of all, if they don't look at volume, you got people that just want to do classic patterns, basically. And they don't even look at volume. So, they don't even have this on here. And they'll just look at and they go, the price action says this or that. And generally, you can get a good idea of what may be going on. But without volume, you don't understand. This may look really bullish to you. Which, I don't know. Again, even if I'm just looking at price action here and I'm not seeing expanding candle spreads, I'm questioning the bullishness. But here, even, if you've got the volume and the price action here, some people look and go, oh, look, the volume's increasing, so, it's definitely going up there. First of all, there are no definites in trading, all right? Except you're definitely going to lose your money over time if you're not using risk management all the time. But other than that, again, it could continue pushing up, and it could potentially be bullish, but it's really suggesting it's not, at least at the moment here, from what I just said. Now, your 1 hour Stochh RSI and RSI overbought. Again, finding resistance at the R2, getting this drop back. It all looks like it's a reversal and, potentially coming into game there. Your 4 hour does have a little bit of room. It's just getting into overbought, though. So we'll see there. If it continues up, through this swing high, the next target is this swing high right here at 10,794. And if it gets through that, you can look at this range right here from the 50% to the R2. So 10,960 to 10,985 or so. That would be the next target beyond that. But this is just a long straight drop. So my thought is that it would go up through that toward this 1286, 1285 to 11,315 kind of area. And if it goes through that, then you're going to look right here at this R3 to 70.5. So it would be this 11,385 or so to 11,405 kind of area. And that's just how I'd watch it, guys. Now, right now it's at a 38.2. So again, 38.2 retracement of wave 2 here makes it a solid wave 4. It can still go up to 50%. Nothing wrong with that. Still a wave 4. If you start getting up here, though, then you go, okay, well, I don't know. I think at this point it starts becoming more of a possible, as we talked about, 5 waves down, and then it's, the next move up. So either could be a wave 2 or could be, this is done, and then this is heading up for a new high. So we've got to see what goes on here now. If it does continue up through all that, you get your 70.5 up here around 11,700. And then you've got your R4 right up there just above it, about 11,790 or so. And so, if we're getting up through this area here, that's really kind of where I'd be looking. And then I'd look at this as maybe a 1-2. But for right now, it's acting like a wave 4 at the moment. You can count a wave 4. So I think until it shows us otherwise, I think this is what I'm going to watch. Let me see here. Especially on this 4 hour here, if we get a load of volume, anything similar to what we got with this previous 4 hour candle, then you should really look at this as taking a new lower low coming in, because it's happening at the top of the at the top of that range there. So when you have all that volume coming in there, if you have it coming back down here, that really kind of says, well, that's a lot of volume coming in at the top. And they usually suggest that price is headed back down toward the bottom at least. If it does, again, still looking for this target right now down here around 9,035 to 9,120 or so. But we'll see. if it comes down, how it counts out as we do that. Excuse me. Obviously, if you just want to look at pivots here on the 4 hour, the 1 hour, if you want to take a larger look at it and just kind of trade that, an impulsive decline through the pivot here at about 10,255 suggests a test of this swing low down here at 98.25, and most likely continued move down. So if you get through that, you're looking at the S2 pivot right here at around 95.25 minimum right there. Now, if we're looking at this, we filled in this gap now, and as you can see, we're just hitting what I had here from last week. Remember I had last week this supply structure EQ right here? That's all we've hit right here. So rejection out of here, I mean, yeah, again, that's a pretty strong indicator that we're probably headed down here to fill in the lower gap at least. And then likely heading down there toward that 9,000, 9,100 kind of area. Let's see here. And again, I told you last week we would probably see sideways and whatnot, kind of making this look like a 1, 2, 3, 4 on the CME, which is what it already looks like on this right here. If you're looking at this and you're honest with yourself, you can go, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, get rejected here at the daily S1 pivot. That's all that's really happening at the moment, potentially. And come on down, right? That S2 fills in the gap, the lower gap there on the CME, minimum target, but potentially coming on down here toward the high volume node, which is what I would expect. Gets around that 9,000, 9,100 kind of area, minimum. And so then that gives you 5 down. And if you've got 5 down, one of two things. My first thought is if you're getting 5 down, we've probably got 3 up and 5 more. So you've at least got an A and a B and a C. If not a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for an A and then a B and a C. But there is that other count that, and I haven't seen it since. Like I said, I just glanced at it. Somebody shared it in Discord. Somebody else was looking at, I think they were looking at it an A and then a B, and then they were looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as a C, as an expanded flat. And so that's possible, depending on how you want to count this here. But that makes, this would be wave 4 on that, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you'd have limited upside for a 5. So don't think you're going to, 20,000 or something from this. If that's the count, I think you're probably, looking at this 14,000 area up here. And again, as I've mentioned before, I wouldn't be surprised to see on the daily, even to see a thrust above it and a close back down below and give you a bearish SFP. And if you've got a bearish SFP going on there, you're probably looking down here, low 6s or even lower down here. So a lot of different ways to look at it depending on what may or may not be going on. Too many dang possible counts in here right now. So, we'll continue, what's going on here? Is this just an ABC and we're up and out now? Is it going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? And if so, is it a 1, 2 or an AB? Or is it a C of an expanded flat? And then we're headed up, So we're just going to watch price action here. You're going to play the ups, you're going to play the downs, and just watch the range here until it gets itself figured out. But really, I think if you're dropping below this high volume node here, see how you drop below that? I think it just opens up this move down here, at least to, 72, 7,300, 64 to 6,600 right here kind of area. You've got little areas along the way here, 80, what is that, around 8,800, right here around 8,100, right here around 72, 7,300. But really, if you're getting through this large high volume node here, that puts a lot of supply pressure on you, because if you look here, this is the supply, this is the node from all the way back here in 2017 forward. So for 3 years here, for 3 years, this is the level they're interested in. So if you lose that level, they become more bearish. Interestingly here, do we see maybe a God, I hate talking about head and shoulders, but do we maybe see God, can't believe I'm gonna do this. something like this here. And if you get this down here to this one and then push up here with a, with a 1, 2. I mean, if you're doing something like that, your target based on that, I mean, just a quick pull off here without any exacts, would mean you'd probably looking at somewhere, depending on how long that took to get through that. I mean, maybe down there around 5,600. And at that point, you're getting right here at this area that I've, did a while ago, kind of showing you where all this congestion is, right above here. You have congestion underneath, you have congestion above. You want to stay above that red line. You really want to stay above these, worst case scenario, dip into the yellow and bounce back out. If you're falling below that, I think that really opens up a lower low. And you say, well, why not just a bounce out of here? Because you already had this huge bounce out of here. How large this was, how fast it was, how strong it was. You probably took most of the orders that were sitting here waiting. So there aren't a whole lot there. And again, I told you, people are going to get scared if they've been sitting here holding all this time here and through here and whatever. And it's, it's a couple years later now and it's still not making new highs. And now it's coming back to where they down here. No, they're going to freak out and start selling. They're going to think it's going down to zero, which is just going to increase that pressure to drop on down. This was their shot here. If that doesn't hold on the move up, many of those, many, probably most of who's holding right here in this area is going to go ahead and sell. Because they want to go ahead and lock in what little bit of profit they can. Or, if they're over here, they want to get out before they lose any more money. Because, it took a lot to hold here. Took even more to hold here. We're 3-4 years later and going to do it again. No, they're not going to hold again. Most. There's always exceptions to the rule. And I know a lot of y'all, feel like maybe you're very, like you're going to hold no matter what. Most people won't. And maybe it's you. Maybe you won't. Because it's a difficult thing to do, guys. Emotionally, to sit there and go, man, I got to hold through that kind of drop, or worse yet, try and buy on something that's dropped so much and hasn't been able to go up in 3 or 4 years. Gosh, man, my nose itches. I'm sorry, guys. Allergies get me today. But anyway, you got to be honest with yourselves, guys. You can't keep lying to yourselves when you're trading, because that's going to cause you to do things you shouldn't be doing, which means you end up losing money. You don't want to do that. So just pay attention. That's why, that's what we're kind of looking at. But that's still a long way off. My overall ideas are still a long way off, as we talked about numerous times before. There's a couple of, multiple different bullish scenarios that could possibly play out before then. So I'm leaning toward what I believe is going to happen, but always open to the possibility of what may be going on. So watching the other possible counts. Again, suggesting that this could be done and up higher, or even get down here and be a wave C and head higher. Still keeping those things in mind. Even if they are, here's the thing, guys. Whether you think, if we get down here, whether you choose to believe it's an A, B, C, expanded flat here, and so it's just going to go up higher, or whether you believe it's 1 or A, and then we've got 2 or B, in either case, you're going to be going long from down here, right? If it gets down here, you're going to be longing from here heading up anyway toward that 61.8. So you don't have to be right on either one right here. Both of them take price up. The question is, how far does it go and does it keep going? That's where the question becomes. But you're long from here if it gets down here. If you're long from here, in either scenario, in any of the three, you're good. You're good. You're making money long. So don't ever think that just because somebody might have an opinion about a larger macro way of things going, that they can't particularly trade, against what they're looking at in the lower time frames. Sure you can. Let me see here. Let me catch up with you guys here. What's going on, Kyle? Good to see you. Hey, what's up, Phoenix? Let me see here. He says, started listening to the educational videos that we have over there in Discord. He said, turn my trading upside down. I think that's a good thing. But it's exactly what the second series about risk management, how much to risk, was 99% me, 1% left to save my embarrassment. Well, glad to see you're going through that stuff, man. What is the meaning of volume down in the 9,000s and pricing is in the 10,000s? Volume down in the 9,000s and pricing in the 10,000s. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Maybe you can find another way to say that. I'm sure it's just me. Sometimes I'm a bit slow. But if you could, I'd be glad to answer that, of course. Hank says, why is this top line where it is? Oh, because that was right here. Because this is just... it was drawn in there and I just moved it up with what's going on there. That's all. I could do this right here. That's fine. Or even this right here. Basically get a overthrow, a throw over here, overthrow, throw over. It's just where I had it. That's all. No big deal. Just looking at those recent highs and where it is. Let me see here. Pixifin, you'll have to ask me about that in Discord so I can address it more properly. And show me what you're talking about exactly. I don't have it set up on here right now. Hank says an extended 5. The big move was a 5 from 7K to 14K. From 7K to 14K. What are you talking about? Let me see here. You think this is maybe like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is all 5 here? I think you'd be looking at what, a 1, 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So get you a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you look at this here as 5. May of last year. Where was this at? May of last year. May of last year is this here. You talking about 5 up here? There's also an ABC count here as well. Regarding tech analysis, you're a bit of a green pea there, Phoenix. So a lot of what you're saying is foreign to me. Well, and that's why we have Discord, man. It's kind of like that idea, like I explained to people, I was raised up all over the world. I lived in Japan. I grew up in Japan and other places. And so, the one thing, and I kind of liken this to when you're studying languages and cultures, the best way to really learn it as strongly and as quickly as possible is to just like stick yourself in it. It's the same thing with Discord. When you're new, it's all like, what the heck's going on? What are they talking about? But as you spend time in it, and it's happening all the time, and you're starting to ask questions, and you're starting to get explanations, and you're seeing how it's done over and over and over again, that's that same immersion thing. I think that's the real benefit of Discord. Because it kind of, instead of just reading or seeing videos and then going, okay, now what? When you look at a chart yourself, you kind of see this happening all the time. So yeah. Let me see here. Yeah, if I can run away, sure it can. Definitely. Let me see here. If I did stock market analysis, I'd pull in so many more viewers. Yeah, because everybody wants free information. Again, I'm fortunate in that, what I do here with TWC is all secondary. As everybody knows, they've been following me around for a while. I make my money trading. TWC is just, another business venture. And so the good thing about that is I don't have to do a lot of the stuff that a lot of other people who are making all their money off their members have to do, because they have to constantly try and get all that membership up there, which is why at the beginning of the stream, I'm talking about how we're going to limit coming up here, and kind of make sure that we're able to put forth the time and effort that we think that we should be putting forth toward our members. So, again, yeah. I mean, I understand that. Sure. I could sit here and do free analysis all day, all day long. But, we do some. We do on Tuesdays and Fridays. If you're new here, we do on Tuesdays and Fridays market coverage of the other markets. We look at gold and silver and oil and natural gas and the NASDAQ and S&P minis and, all that other stuff. Sometimes we look at some Forex, DXY. Yeah. But, again, I don't know. I guess the way I see it, I've been doing this a long time. I think if you're serious about trading, you're not just looking for free information online. If you're looking just for free information online, you're probably not very serious about trading. And I don't mean that to be disrespectful to anybody. I mean it to be a reality check. Excuse me. Because what you learn to recognize is that good information is worth paying for. And so things that I do, if I'm looking to learn something new, I'm always paying somebody. I'm always willing to find out, okay, who has real and relevant information, who can I latch onto and kind of learn from. And that's the way I've always been. And I kind of, I feel it's the same way, with trading. So yeah. But, again, the space is here's the reality of what crypto Twitter is, guys. And even day trading stocks, Robinhood types or whatever. It's this idea that because they can, again, as I've talked about, it's this idea of, I can do it, so I should be able to make a lot of money easily, right? And people are terrible if they charge me to teach me how to do it. How dare they do that? They should give me my information for free, and it's just the silliest thing I've ever heard. I'm a big believer in people doing for themselves, and if you're serious about something, you find a way to make it happen. But you don't sit here and rely on the world doing things for you. So yeah, that's just kind of my view and the way I look at things. And fortunately, again, my money comes from trading. So as much as I want TWC to continue to flourish and grow as it has, at the end of the day, it's not like, oh my gosh, I got to go out and get a real job if it doesn't end up working out, because I didn't give everything away for free, to people who didn't understand the value of something. So, yeah. It just, again, I don't say any of that to be disrespectful to anybody or whatever, but I think a lot of people in today, they don't really have an understanding of the value of a thing. And then that's sad. That's sad. Because you get a certain... You get a certain feeling of accomplishment and pride and character development when you do something yourself, or you take the steps, you do things other than looking for the handouts, I guess is what I should say. But we give I give a ton of free on here all the time. So if people happen to find us, and and it's not a lot of them, then they should consider themselves lucky, I think. Anyway, hopefully it didn't come off rude, guys. You know me. I'm not trying to be rude or anything. I'm just, life is a certain way. And I don't shy away from, mentioning the way that I believe it is. But it's precisely because of the way that I view life and things that I've been able to get where I am. So, I don't know. If you're not at that level that you want to be in life, kind of check, what do the people who, maybe in those positions that you aspire to be, how do they view life? How do they view things? And if yours is not aligned with that, maybe it should be. These are things that I learned a long time ago, which have helped me get to where I'm at today. By the way, here, so as you can see, again, same thing we see on the CME. You've got this supply structure here. We're hitting that EQ right there. Getting kind of rejected that. Remember, guys, grand picture here is that we are at the, got rejected here at the EQ of this same structure from the end of 2017. The same weekly structure. That's held us back everywhere. The only times that it's gone above it, it's shot right back down the next day. It's never stayed above, above this 13, 300 basically area. It's gone up there one day, turned around, shot back down. Even on the other spot exchanges, this is Binance, but even on the other spot exchanges where it popped up here early on, it was the same idea here. It went up one day, turned around, rejected hard back down the next day. Other than that, everything's getting stuck right here at the EQ area. And so just another thing here. And if we actually look at the weekly on that, I mean, you know, again, get rejected right here, right? Right here. Large, you know, spike of volume, large candle spread, right off there. Get a little bounce right here at the support. And I'll tell you what, if you're falling back into it and you're getting deeper into it here, that's really washing out this support. So you get a fifth wave down, 3 up, move on through it. So we'll see. You know, we'll see. Could be wrong. Definitely could be wrong. We've talked about this. But for right now, we'll see what happens here locally and see if we get that follow through there, which then, of course, adds into those larger pictures, those larger moves that we may or may not be seeing. Let me see here. Looks like we're getting a bit of a more attempt trying to push up here. But again, you know, we are pretty high up there. So, you know, maybe we do. Again, if we do, if we're through here, you know, we're looking up here, then the R2, and then, you know, up here to the next areas we talked about earlier. So we'll see how it continues to play out on that. Let me see here. Hey there, Jordan. Good to see you. Wind Doom, spring of 2021. Your guess is as good as mine. I don't even try to time markets, guys. And you know what? Some people do out there, and they feel like they can do it. Most people can't. I'm not even, you know, I've been doing this long enough. I know I can't. I'm not interested in doing it. Sometimes I get it right. Most of the time I get it wrong. Why worry about it? I'm more interested in the levels and what I'm looking at than the time frames. I'm not impatient. I'm not in a hurry to get, you know, wealthy overnight kind of idea. You know, so yeah, if y'all ever ask me, I know Jordan was just messing with me, but if y'all ever ask me, you know, well, when is this supposed to happen? Well, I don't know. If I think it might happen by a certain time because of other macro factors, you know, I'll mention it. But even that should be taken with a grain of salt, guys. Let me see here. People won't do any responsibility if it's free. Putting prices on everything would make them understand it. Yeah. You know, there is a certain responsibility that comes with pricing. You know, if you pay for a thing, you are taking... you know, something I used to really pay a lot of lip service to. You know, I say lip service. I used to actually say it quite a bit. Was that, how do we say this? You need to have respect for your money. In order to get money, you had to trade something. Whether it was manual labor, hard work, working with your hands, you know, or something. Whether it was using your brain, you know, working that way. Whether it was the amount of trade school or college time you had to put in to get to the point where you're at so that you could make the money that you have. You know, you're always your money always has a value. You always had to trade something for it. And so that's why I'm a firm believer that, you know, you need to respect your money in trading. That's why you need to have good risk management. But it also you know, kind of puts on my belief that, that if you have to spend that money to get something that you really want, you'll treat that thing better. And it's not always true. Some people still are just willy-nilly with money. But, you know, and there's nothing I can do about that. But, you know, if you're serious about learning to trade and you really want to understand how the markets work and, you know, you really want to learn the tips, the techniques, the tricks that are all available out there, I mean, you know, you join us and you put your nose down and you do it. You know, you get in there, you watch all the videos. You know, you go through it, you ask questions. You look at the trade setups every day, every time they're updated. The intradays, every time they're updated. You look at the chart requests, you look at it and you read through it because I go through a lot of effort to explain why I'm looking at something, maybe doing a thing. It's not just, I just say, oh, on a chart request, oh, you enter here, you exit there. What are you learning if I do that? You're not learning anything. The idea is to help you learn so that you can understand what happens if I was to pass away tomorrow. You don't have, and so what do you got to do? Then you got to find somebody else to hopefully give you buy and sell signals. But, we've given through the whole of why that's a bad thing, because they're not you. They're not you, guys. You're all different. The things that make you who you are as traders and investors are the things that are different than what makes me who I am and what makes Scott who he is. We can give you general areas that we watch for entries and exits, but how exactly you play those and whether you should or should not is completely dependent upon who you are as a trader or investor. Just because we're looking at saying, well, if price goes above there, it's probably good until this other point, doesn't mean that every one of you should necessarily take that trade. For some of y'all, it may be too risky. For others, it may not be risky enough. For others, it may not be the right time frame, either that you can watch or that you even want to watch. There's so many different things out there. And so, one of the things I always hope that I do for new traders that are coming in here is to get them to understand that. Otherwise, they just continue to go around and just want somebody to tell them where to buy or sell. But guys, nobody's ever become wealthy with somebody else telling them where to buy or sell. They never have. You absolutely have to learn what's going on with the market and how to use all the different tools and techniques and whatever and figure out what works for you. Because you end up melding together a system that works for you, and that's what's important. Not what works for somebody else. Because the way I trade, if you were to exactly copy the way I trade, it wouldn't be as productive for any of y'all. Because there are different things. There are things that are different between you and me that make us different as who we are. And so my recognition of that keeps me from telling you, you know what, yeah, you definitely need to enter here and exit here and whatever and do all these other stupid things that everybody else is trying to do. Best case scenario, you might make a few bucks. But what if you found out that by doing that, you actually didn't enter an opportunity where you could have made a lot more money? You'd be upset, right? There's a lot to this, guys. Trading is simple, but it's not easy. All right? You got to get through, you got to get through it. Doesn't mean you can't learn it. You can definitely learn it. I believe that. We've helped so many people over the last 3 years, and we continue to do it today. I honestly don't think there's a better place out there where you can learn more about how the market actually works. Get you beyond all the whole news and all this other nonsense that's out there. The sad thing is, if you think news is what ultimately directs market action, then you're going to try and trade it, which means you're going to jump in the most volatile periods, which means you're most likely to lose your money. But as new traders, you don't know that. And you learn the hard way. And then you believe you can't learn, and you believe that you're going to lose money, which you don't have to. I mean, you're going to lose money. As a trader, guys, you're never going to be 100% correct. That's why risk management is so important. That's why we talk about it all the time. That's why I've got a module on it there with all the video education we have. So, there's a lot more to trading than simply trying to get somebody to tell you where to buy or sell with things, guys. You might find out that that's probably the worst thing you can do, honestly. Kimo, what's going on? It says, if it's all free, customers associate no value. Yeah. I mean, there's the rare people who, given free information will do something significant with it, but it's really the exception to the rule. The rule is generally people who get things for free tend to treat it like it was free. What do you do with free stuff? Kind of toss it in the trash, right? Yeah. Glad you guys understand that. Let me see here. Phoenix, what's up? He says, I made $1,500 the first of the week and doing exactly what you talked about the risk management, and then lost 1,000 of it. So yeah, I'm ahead 500, but I should have been ahead 1,300. I would have paid the 1,000 to do that. The content you provide is valuable. Thank you. Well, I'm glad, man. Thank you for saying so too. Guys, again, at the end of the day, we rely a lot on our members taking the chance, taking the time to actually mention, how much they enjoy what we do. I'm not the best marketer out there, and I know that because I don't, again, it's not the TWC as a business is not a live or die for me. So I spend a lot of time working on the content, working on that and adding more and what I can do there, rather than promoting it like, which is the opposite of what most people do, right? Most people are out there, just promote, and then you get in there and you're like, what the heck is this nonsense? Or so I've been told. I've never actually been with any of these kind of groups or anything, but this is just what our members tell us. So again, guys, I just kind of look at this and I go, what is it that I should have known? That had I known when I first started trading, would have made me a lot more successful, would have saved me a lot of money that I lost. And then I attempt to give that to you guys. And always attempt to add it more and to repackage it in a way, if I can, that makes it easier and easier to understand. That's always the goal. I mean, it doesn't do any good if I'm telling you something if you can't understand it. So, yeah. Let me see here. Let me see here. Skin in the game, Andrew says. What's going on, Andrew? Good to see you. Sylvia, what's up? What's up? Yeah, exactly. Let me see here. Crypto Bitcoin anarchist. Oh, man. I like it. Watching from Australia. Oh, you love the Bitcoin roller coaster and looking forward to long-term hold. Me too, man. This to me, everybody has this short-term picture and they're all worried about potentially dropping them down, right, guys? We look here and we go, oh man, price is doing all this. And, people are like, oh my God, if it gets down here, oh my God, it's the end of the world kind of thing, or if it gets down here, or even if it gets down here. In my picture, I zoom out here and I'm thinking about the bigger picture from, way down here. I'm thinking about, let me see if I can pull up a different chart here real quick. Let's look at this one right here. Yeah. My picture, is this much larger picture here. This to me, this is, guys, look at this. If you look at this is Bitcoin from 10 years ago to now, right? This is nothing. This right here, this is nothing in comparison to this, right? Everybody's so freaked out, these little movements it does here. But zoom out a bit. If you really believe that Bitcoin's going to be something big, if that's what you really believe, then you should be looking at this and go, man, this is all just temporary opportunities to gain more before it pushes up higher, before it really kind of takes off. I mean, that's what that should be looked at. But instead, everybody freaks out, every little movement. It drops $500. Oh my God, it's going down to zero. It pushes up $500. Oh my God, it's going to 100,000. It's such nonsense. You're going to drive yourselves crazy doing that. Instead, step back a little bit. Look at what's going on. See the big picture here. Will it get down here to, 2,400? Maybe, maybe not. But whether it does or doesn't, we're still paying attention to what's going on here. You still can make money anyway. Even if all you can do is buy, you can buy the bounces along the way. Sell the rejections. And I say that because, it's a lot more difficult to short here in the U.S. But you can join Kraken and short there. 5 times leverage if you want to. If you're elsewhere, join us on Femix, man. You can get up to 100 times leverage on that. Which doesn't mean you should take every penny of what you have and 100 times leverage it. That's just silly. You'll lose all that in a couple of minutes, probably. But if you use that leverage to do things like reduce your counterparty risk, the reality is if you want to trade, you've got to have money on the exchange. If you got money on the exchange, there's always the possibility the exchange could get hacked and you could lose it, right? So if you use leverage, you can have less money on the exchange and still get the same result. But you actually get a greater return. You get the same monetary return, but it's a greater percentage return because you're using less of your own money. And anybody that grew up in the 80s, especially here in the U.S., you know all about OPM, other people's money, and all that kind of stuff. It was the heyday back then, corporate rating, all that kind of fun stuff. That's what I grew up with. But there's so much more to leverage than simply taking every penny you have and leveraging it as much as possible. That is the absolute worst way to use leverage. But, yeah, so, I mean, this is the bigger picture, guys. I mean, that's the bigger picture right there. That's what you're looking at. All this, and all you're doing is doing a little bit sideways here. That's all this is. A little bit sideways. Ain't nothing. Have some patience. Use the opportunity to increase here. Don't have to increase on every move. Just increase a little bit along the way as it continues doing this. And before you know it, by the time it does take off, you're going to have a lot more than what you had, which means you're going to gain a lot more exponentially on that move up. But you got to get out of that 5-minute picture, guys. Absolutely have to get out of that. It's not going to do you any good. By the way, here, this PNF right here suggests a possible target down here of around that 9100 area. This PNF structure up here, point and figure charting. So we'll see if we get there. But it is suggested on that. Remember, point and figure was the thing I used to tell us we were going to around 14,000 there the summer of whatever it was, last year. So, yeah. Same idea. Same technique. Oh, that's Bitfinex, man. I haven't looked at this in a while. Where's my chart? Is this it right here? Yeah, that's it right there. We'll zoom in a bit so it doesn't look as messy. So, Plastic Monkeys, what's going on? Do I think hitting 11,200 is likely? Oh, I don't know. Likely, not likely. I don't know. It's possible. Depends on what goes on in this area right here. Feel free to zoom to rewind to the beginning of the video here in a minute. I'm about to be done. And you can see right there what I'm thinking as far as where I'm watching as this moves. Yeah. Datus is lucky him. He's out of that 5-minute window. Comfortably watching the 1 minute. Too much. The crypto influence of the year is Scott. Yeah. Scott does a good job with what he does. He does. Scott's not out there trying to just, do what most people are doing, in that position, which is good. It's good. He shares a lot of good information. A lot of relevant info and ideas and stuff. So, yeah. Let me see here. Real quick here before I jump out of here. What we got? The DXY here. Let me see. I guess we can just jump on this one right here. We'll see what happens here. So there's a couple of different possibilities going on here. If this is 1 up, it is possible this is 2 down, right around the 50%, but it's only the 50%, so I'm iffy on that. And in that, you could have a 1 and a 2 and then a 3, 4, 5, so it gets up here toward this 94, 40 kind of area. There is also the possibility that maybe you have an ABC down as an A, ABC up as a B, and then so you get a flat here. That could also play out as this week goes on. I didn't check out. I think it's this week. Is it this week that the Fed's doing their last thing before the election? Maybe it's this week. I don't remember. I got to check that again. But, possibly here or even down here toward the S1 pivot. We're almost down there as it is. Right now we're kind of at the 4-hour right here. It's the 4-hour demand structure EQ right there. That's where we're bouncing or attempting to bounce anyway. You've got bullish divergence over this point here so far as well. Stochastic RSI dropping into oversold but hasn't quite popped out yet. 4-hour RSI kind of bouncing off around 40 here or so. So could definitely see this, possibly continuing to head up there. I wouldn't be surprised to see it, but we need to start seeing some movement here. Start seeing some impulsiveness go. If we can get above this pivot, that's a good sign here. You want to get above the 93.20 or so area, and then above the swing high up here at 93.45. I think if you're doing that, you still got to look at the, at this swing high up here at around 93.66 or so. But I think you're really kind of setting the stage to run it up here higher. And of course, it could push up higher than what we have here if this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wave 3 and or wave 5 could overextend. So anything can still happen. But generally, no reason to think this is coming down yet. It's still bullish structure. So we'll continue to watch how it is. As I said before, though, I'm most comfortable when price gets really when it gets above this kind of this 95.45 kind of area, 95.40 area. But really, just to move a break above this descending channel here would do it as well. If we're breaking out descending channel, which comes from way up here, I think we should be good to go. I'm going to touch the top, touch the bottom, touch the top, touch the bottom. Kind of moving its way up there. Right now, we're just above the EQ. If you look at channels and you're above the EQ, generally you look to target the channel resistance. So, depending on how you want to look at this, whatever technique you want to apply, there's a lot of reason to be bullish, but you still need price to follow through. There's just no two ways about it. You can't just say, oh, I'm bullish because, and then just ignore everything else. So, let me see here. Hank's still looking at the high eddies. Definitely still a possibility, guys. Again, if this count is correct, then the break above wave E here says we're done. Says the bottom's in, we're going up. But the count has to be correct, and the count could potentially be wrong. And if it is, all this sideways right here could just be a wave 4 before wave 5 further down. It's always possible. But in either case, whether the bottom's in or it makes a slightly lower low in the high 80s there and then goes up, either way, we're much more closer to a reversal than we wouldn't be. Now, the one thing we know is DSI is showing that the dollar bears are jumping ship pretty quick, fast, and in a hurry over the last few weeks. So they've really lightened up their bearish sentiment quite a bit. So, now we just need to see some follow through the upside. So we'll see what happens. We'll see. But anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here. It's 12 o'clock. So, as always, really excited to have you all checking in with me. Really glad to see y'all here today. If you haven't yet, we'd love to have you with us over at Texas West Capital. Join us at howtotradetowin.com. Like I said, sometime this week, we're going to go ahead and shut off new memberships for tiers 1 and 2. If you're a tier 1 or 2 or a tier 3 right now, you can still go ahead and, and drop on down to a tier 1 or tier 2 level, whatever you want. We're just not bringing in new tier 1 and tier 2. But you'll be able to join tier 3 still, at least for a bit. Again, we're going to limit that here pretty soon, just to kind of make sure that we can continue to handle everybody appropriately that we've got. So we're not stretching ourselves too thin so our members suffer. That's the one thing we don't want to do. Y'all are paying. We want you to be happy customers. And then as, we get through that and we do it for a while, maybe we'll open tier 1 back up. Tier 3 back up, start letting some new people in. We're really pushing tier 3 because we've done so much with it and we've got a ton more coming with it. So, yeah. Now, there might be the ability, I haven't decided yet, we might, for new tier 1 members, once we cut it off, and then we open it back up for tier 3 members, we might allow those who come in at that tier 3 level to downgrade to tier 2 or tier 1 maybe. But again, it's all about how well can we handle the groups of people that we have at the different tiers. That's what it's all about, guys. And I do a lot of the work myself, and our members kind of expect that. And so, I want to make sure that I'm not doing too much. I have too many people in all at once so that we can't handle it. Yeah. But anyway, that's what we're doing. So if you want to get in, jump in and get on it. Don't forget, starting next week, we're going to go down to just 3 days a week with the public stream. So Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Again, that's just more of so I can spend more time with our members thing we're doing because of everything else we're going to be adding in as the year continues on. So lots of stuff there. Be careful it doesn't all end in tears. Organic Academy. Hey, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining in. Hopefully you'll be back. Checking in from Italy. That's awesome. Miss Blockchain Gains is here. Glad to see you were here as well. As always. Yeah, the DXY is the dollar index, guys. For those of you that don't know what it does, I'm going to get out of here in just a second. What it does is it compares the value of the dollar against a basket of 6 other currencies. And they're all weighted with their importance. The Euro USD is the most important. It's about 58% of the value of the weighted basket there. Which is why you'll often see that the Euro USD moves opposite of the DXY. But basically, if the DXY is rising, that means the value of the dollar is rising. And if the value of the dollar is rising, that means everything else is getting cheaper. You have to spend less dollars on it because your dollar's worth more. So, that's not necessarily the best thing for things like gold and silver and Bitcoin and whatnot. Yeah, you want to, for those products, and other things, you kind of want inflation. You want your dollar to be worth less, so you have to spend more dollars because that, raises the value. Because it's more dollars, what you're doing. So, all right, guys, I'm out of here. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Thanks a lot for joining in. I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll do the whole markets thing, guys. We do the stock market and precious metals and oil and pretty much everything. Take a few requests and whatnot. Do that. So that'll be tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right. You guys have a great day. Remember, the only thing you control in the market is how much you lose. So no matter everything I've said here, and no matter how good something may or may not look, there are no guarantees, guys. And the only thing you can do is protect yourself from yourself. So risk management, proper risk management will give you more return. It'll provide a better return on your investment than anything else. That's where you make your money, guys. All right? All right, you guys have a great day. Take care. And we'll catch you later. If you're over in Discord, of course, we'll see you all over there in a bit. Have a great day.